creation, manifestation is a natural process. It happens naturally. It is constant and uninterrupted. However, for every part of us that we did not take responsibility for every part of us that we believe we're just another natural mechanic system, that manifestation happens according to the laws of nature. So nature just keeps going. And while everything happens according to the laws of nature, we are under the impression that we did not create it because it seems to just be a natural process. However, the truth is, once you have discovered it by experience, not only through listening to my words, but by experiencing it, by practicing it until the experience comes, that if everything seemed to work according to the laws of nature, it is because your creative process was the laws of nature. But you have been manifesting constantly. That's how it works. You always keep sustaining these experiences in your life. And for every part of you that is just a potential that is set in motion, an energy generated from an egocentric desire that you allow to grow, and then it has charge, and it's in a state of power, and it operates. Well, it will taint your diaphragm, it will be projected on that veil, and then outside, and you'll live it. And even while you are not fully conscious of all the aspects of the phenomena of manifestation from a divine point of view, with practice, you can get all of your potentials, at least all your planes, in tune. Like if you made a little breach at every level where the chaotic and erratic potentials not cared for would just part for a moment, so that there's a central line of focus, of conscious manifestation of what you want to experience in life. And you live it and you embody it, and then boom, you confirm by a physical act. And I had boring food, enjoying that boring food, not judging it, and accepting it, and remembering that the entertaining food of, exquisite, luxurious restaurants is also a pleasure of mine. And for an ascetic such as me, the financial means to have such experiences are sometimes available and sometimes not. And I stop for a moment thinking in the whys and hows, and of course it's easy for me to not think about the whys and hows, because I'm okay when I spend lots of time in my life having one meal a day and a second small lunch, very, very small thingy with not much taste in the middle of the day. And I considered experiencing something more luxurious. And I took a spoonful of those cereals I had just poured, and I was absorbed in the exquisite experience of manifesting it. And the gesture I did to physically manifest is, thank you for the good food. And it was boring, plain Cheerios. They didn't pay for the ad. Camera joke. No, that wasn't sponsored by anyone. And it was just that. But I confirmed through a physical movement what I was absorbed in. Chew it, swallowed, amen. When I feel more oriental, I go om tat sat. And as it was useful for me to be in service to those who can learn, to be useful to those who have brought good to their surroundings, to these people who needed my intervention in their life, it happened that it was people who had financial means to bring me to those exquisite places that I had just manifested 2 days before meeting them for the first time. Maha, can we bring you to the restaurants? Any restaurant you want. We just want to be with you. And the main purpose of our implication was the fact that they had done good work on themselves, so I could do good work with them. And as a purely egocentric yet blessed side effect, I could benefit from the wonderful, exquisite food and even get a bit of tourism in the city of Mexico. Nothing like that could have happened if every part of the manifestation were not oriented to become good people from everyone implicated. And as I had communication issues, like not knowing the language, we had a translator along who was also someone in service to God. Everything happened perfectly. So that absolutely everyone, even my egocentric desire, could be filled, because my egocentric desire did not rip anyone else's benefits. I did not cause suffering from manifesting what I purely wanted to experience. My egocentric desire contributed to the growth of everyone else implicated in the manifestation. Because I never chose how that manifestation would happen. A part of the torture that happens to the human is the control that we wish to have on causality, the control of how it's going to happen. I want to win the lottery. Why do you want to win the lottery? Because I want the money. Why do you want money? Because I want the house. Why do you want the house? Because I want to raise a family. Why do you want to raise a family? Well, it's obvious. I want to have children. I love them. Da 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 da. Okay, so just focus on having an appropriate place to love your family. Forget how it'll happen. Just leave. Just forget all that mental control that comes to break your mind and torture you. And as a human, constantly saying that everything is going wrong because you're not concentrating on what you want. You're so stuck on how it could happen. And why are you so stuck on how it could happen? Now that's the trick. You're so afraid it won't. That you're stuck in the control. And because you're stuck in the control, it won't happen. Manifestation is an act of faith. And faith is not blind, like they would say, blind faith. It is not blind. However, it is not reassuring. Faith is not the absence of insecurity. Manifestation cannot happen until you let go of the human ways. You have to go and walk in this world as a human, conscious that you're a soul, until you can walk as a soul conscious that you're God, imprisoned in the process. And until then, hard work. Manifestation is to be so absorbed in a reality with no judgment of that reality and no control of that reality. Absorbed on the result, your mind for at least half an hour or 5 minutes, or a spoonful of cereal, depending on your skill, to not be absorbed on the doubt of the impossibilities. Just talk to your ego. Okay, I will doubt that it will never happen, and I'll be afraid never to be satisfied in another 20 minutes, okay? Can you just go back afraid in 20 minutes, please? My little loving ego that I love so much. Can you start bragging about how dramatic it is that you don't have what you want in 20 minutes? Can we just have a little break of that limited perception? Just a moment of fantasy. While you're not lying to yourself, but you're not believing in what you perceive. Just go in non-distinction. If you want to know what that means, we'll have a little small teaching about that. Not so long. Just go in that state where you will absorb yourself in a reality and confirm it to a physical gesture. So if you want more money, you'll take $5 and you'll be absorbed in the fact that you have so much money, and you'll go to the church and you'll drop it in the donation box. Thank you for all the money, God. I'm so happy. And you'll go away. And you will have done a physical gesture that doesn't cause you suffering. And if giving $5 causes you suffering, give 25 cents. But for a moment, you're physically confirming your abundance, not by taking as much money in as you can, but by going into the state where you have so much, here, take that, It's just in the feeling of that abundance and the gratitude, and physically confirm a gesture, a movement, more than words, physical gesture. Do something that confirms that what you have been absorbed in contemplation is what you want. And everything else will just go boom, 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 falling apart. Now that's the point, the trick. For every part of you that refused to let go while you were doing that, they will be forced in your face. And if this happens, remember that if you're angry not to have the funding you wanted for a project, if you didn't have the money to go to that trip, if you didn't have the lover to have the affection you wanted at the moment you wanted, if this happens, it's because during your moment of manifestation there was something inside you still holding on to the impossibility and the control and the dream and the self-infatuation of I refuse that God creates. I want to be the one doing that. There's something inside, be it arrogance, ignorance, greed, hatred, anger, something vicious that will taint the manifestation with its potential, and you'll partially have what you want and partially have the troubles, to show you as a good guide, look, you just didn't consider that aspect. You still had that to resolve. Instead of being angry at God for what you don't have, and be sorry for yourself for what you couldn't manifest, take it as a guide. It was meant to show you what is yet to resolve. There is no technique that is flawless, that if you learn it, that you manifest whatever you want. There is none. There's one reality, one truth. God creates. And when you absorb yourself in God, even while your mind can't even accept that you are, because you didn't get the experience, until you get the experience of knowing, you don't. Yet, even if you don't know that you're God, you still are, so you go and do your best. And it's from that divine state that you manifest. It's from that point that you forgive. It's from that point that you give out of pure charity. An act of compassion is not an act of egocentric attempt to be loved by showing how much we love. Compassion is not pity, poor you, look at how much I love you, so you give me attention. No. Compassion, I agree, looks like that. And this week, myself, during a teaching, I look like sometimes saying, poor you, you suffer. Hey, at some point I was talking like, poor me, look how I suffer to attract your attention. As an expedient mean. Compassion looks like drama as much as sometimes drama looks like compassion. Don't get confused. Some people do just the drama of compassion, and it's not real compassion. Poor you, pity is not compassion. So compassion is absorbed in a state where you say, just for a moment, we'll just stop believing in suffering. We'll go back in drama with others in 15 or 20 minutes, or after I'm done with my bowl of cereal. Control is not virtue. There's nothing wrong with control. Control is absolutely necessary in life. It's called management, responsibility, administration. Stay in control. The problem comes when your mind, your ego, needs to be in control when it's not yours to be in control. When you need to control the life of your teenager, when you need to control the life of your lover or your children or your parents, when you need to control other people's life, when it's not your time to control it. When you need to control what's going on at the job and you limit the creativity and the freedom of the people there. But if you let go of the control that you must have, the world becomes chaotic. Control is not evil. To be addicted to control is problematic. Something else that hinders manifestation. You're so happy. Something else that hinders manifestation. I want to use good words. Not deserving it. The idea of you need to deserve something so God can give it to you. Not true. There is no concept of deserving and not deserving. Manifestation is a wonderful power and it's a trap. Manifestation and the power to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with the divine level of intervention to even supernaturally change your reality so you can be so satisfied, that is a wonderful trap. It's a trick. You have to learn how to get to that point of at least the enlightenment to become efficient at your manifestation. And you will do it for the pure egocentric purpose of thinking you'll have whatever you want. And it's perfect. It's okay. It's a bait. It's a carrot in front of the donkey. Learn manifestation for the pure egocentric feeling that you'll be able to have whatever you want. Because the truth is, you will be able to have whatever you want. And for that, you'll need to train to get to the point of being in that state. Therefore, it's an expedient mean. It's a trick that God gave us. You want the power? Take it. Here's what you have to do. And then you go on into the entire therapy and the entire list of what you have to change inside you. And you discover the true meaning of being happy. And then you can have whatever you want. And most of the things you wanted, you don't give a shit anymore because you're so happy. And then you manifest yourself luxurious food simply because you can. And it's okay. You want the power? Do it. There are people learning with me. I want to learn Kuji-in because it makes me a strong, powerful warrior. Good. I'm going to show you how to become a strong, powerful warrior. And then this guy says, you tricked me, Maha. I didn't believe in enlightenment. I thought it was bullshit, and then I got it. Kuji-in caused me to enlighten. I'm a powerful warrior now because I have so much compassion that when it's time to cause suffering, I don't even hesitate. I'm in a state of forgiveness. And when it's not time to cause suffering, I don't, because I'm such in a state of compassion. And because of that Kuji-in and all the philosophy, I am now a powerful warrior. That's basically what that guy told me. I'm not going to say his name. He doesn't want to be known. It's okay. But I think it's the same thing for Rajagata. Huh? Same thing. It's okay to want to manifest. It's okay. And you will even succeed. That too is okay. And you can do it in a way that doesn't cause suffering to anyone, that just brings about celebration of the manifestation. It's wonderful. Free your mind of the deserving or not. Free your mind of that. Then there's the frustration with God. Irresponsibility. Saying, why God do you allow suffering to be in the world? Who says God allows that suffering? How about considering you allow the suffering in your personal life? And because collectively as humans, mostly everyone does that, then the world allows suffering in the world. Because you as a human allow it to be suffering instead of being lessons. Who said that God is the one allowing all the suffering in the world? Humans. Who didn't want to be responsible for their own limited, personal, immediate choices. Responsibility. Another one. Oh my God. Personal issue there. Forgiveness. Throat. When I have two equal choices and they are both the good answer, and I'm stuck in the mindset, which is the good one? Let's say I have 2 or 3 alternatives and I wonder which is the good one. I have 3 good alternatives. Each choice leading to a new series of events that are not good or evil, but just perfect for your evolution. And we're stuck in the need to know which is the good one, when none of them are wrong. Where the only wrong choice is to sit back in inertia and not do something. To not do anything. Just wait until it's too late and it blows up in your face. When the only wrong choice is to not make it. And whichever you do, you'll never be reassured of which one was the best option. You never will know. Why? Sometimes out of a situation there might be 10 possible scenarios to continue. Because your mind is clogged, you see only 4 or 3 of those, and then there's one that is not so wise and two that are good, and you just go and you're stuck with, you finally identify the two and then you can't make your mind. Pick one. It will hurt. It will. And it will be fun also. It's not about a good choice and a bad choice. It's about nature will bring balance between the suffering and the happiness. And it's like that. So you're stuck in the mindset that there is one best possible option. Now, what is that thing, that power inside that makes us stuck in the need to have the best possible solution when you have four equally acceptable ones? What is that power? It is greed. That greed pushes you, I have to make sure to get the most benefit of every situation. And if I am not informed of the most beneficial one, I am so greedy that I can't just go on with one of those and be satisfied with what God will give me. Greed. I just so want to be reassured to have the most out of every choice. What about simplicity? What about the simple and calm approach? I'll accept whatever comes of the choice I make. And hopefully it will be one of those good choices, and we'll see on the long run, I guess. As humans, there are clearly good choices and bad choices. And these choices are not about the amount of money they bring, but the amount of happiness and suffering that they will bring. But sometimes you just don't know. And as Suki was saying, in your opinion, Maha, should I work in that field or that field? Because now I have a choice to make. I say, work in that field. She said, but there's this one that I use. Okay, work in that field. And at one point she made a choice, and you see, I think she made the best choice. She made one. So she did the best thing she could do. She made a choice. And there's, evolution-wise, it was pretty good for her to go into the career. She was in face of two jobs, and she took the one that I think is the most beneficial for Vajra. But the other one would have trained her into being more stronger energy-wise. Now she's going to be more focused and manifestation-wise. Okay, different choices brought different benefits. That's it. And the greed inside, oh, you mean I won't get that type of approach if I had chosen that job? Yeah, but if you chose the other, you wouldn't get the benefits of the one you did. So, go the simple way. Okay, that will be the outcome of my choice. Do you understand the confusion of the entire, what's the best option? I don't know. Or sometimes I do, but, it's not at the same level of perception. Just make a choice, do something, move your energy. We manifest, and because of those manifestations, we're often even more choices. I want to manifest so much money, God, and possibilities and options that we're in face of choices and we don't know which one. You're so good at manifesting, you couldn't manifest one blessing, you manifested three, and you just don't know which one to pick. That's how good manifestors you are sometimes, Options. Oh my God. God even gives you options. And then we become picky. We become greedy with God. How ironic. The power of manifestation starts with the clarity of the source of the desire. Free of judgment, free of arrogance, and free of the idea that you can't have it or don't deserve. Free of the judgment that you can't use supernatural powers to manifest your stuff. Free of judgment means free of judgment at every level. Just do it. And then let go of control so that causality can flow in harmony. with everyone else's causality, so that everyone will reap the benefits of what you have manifested. And no one will be hindered. When you have the calm and focused attitude, go subtle inside, you meditate, crank yourself up before you do the supernatural intervention. Crank yourself up, do lots and lots of meditation, lots of Maha. Not half an hour, oh man, I did lots of Maha, like 10 of them. No, that's not what I meant. I'm talking about like 40 days of 2 hours a day. Crank yourself up. I don't need to crank myself up. I am cranked up. Did you see me cranked up? I'm like that. Okay? Power-wise. I'm not about to die, by the way. The metaphor had its flaws, I guess. Crank yourself up with that chi and energy, and then you go and boom, you manifest and you do something purely physical, human. Why? Because your manifestation, you want to live it at the pure human level. You can't be absorbed in meditation and manifest. You're just going to keep it in higher realities. Go outside and eat some fancy food once. For me, the bowl cereal was fancy enough because it was way more than when I had to not eat for 3 days, okay? So I manifested that. That's just an example to give you. You just confirm. Someone wanted to change career in my students, and she did not really know how to go about it, but what she signed paperwork. She did a physical thing. She signed a piece of paper confirming one of the various things that she needed to do. She started with one, and then everything fell into place to the point that she would just cross random people that started to help her towards her goal. She did not even know these people. Everything started to fall in place. But to get to that point, you need to be cranked up. To do so much integration, so much spiritual practice, so much processes. So you want to have divine level of power, you want to have supernatural ability, you have to become supernatural. And that means defeat nature. I'm going to end this speech with a little trick. Train your morale. Train your mind. You love salt and pepper. I was so addicted to pepper. Especially black grounded pepper, fresh. I bought quality peppers, various colors and the finest brands, with the one that you could smell at 1 foot from the bottle. So, soft. It wasn't the black boring. It was low. I was an expert in tasting pepper, so much I was a freak. And I would put the pepper right in front of me during each meal for an entire month and not put it. To defeat preference, to defeat nature, to defeat that idea. And at the time that I was addicted to sexuality, I needed 1 shot a day. I would look at a porn movie every day of the week for 1 week with just observing what was going on, doing nothing, until the suffering of not having sexuality rose, and I could integrate and observe the physical pain of the conflicts in the body. I did that. So I could defeat that enslavement to desire. Because what I wanted was to have affection. So on that week, that was pretty long ago, but at that week I said, now I want to be bombarded with affection. I have done sacrifices. I cranked myself up by keeping my energy in, doing miles in practice, and then how did I manifest that affection? I masturbated, and at the moment that I was feeling the orgasm coming, my mind was absorbed in, I'm not in the need of sexuality, I want affection, and this is what I'm going to be bombarded with. And I know I'm so bombarded with affection because this is what I live. And I did have the orgasm. So, that thing that if you spread your energy and lose it, it's not good. Well, it was a physical act. And it did produce physical results, while I was purely absorbed in having affection. And then every single day I met random people that jumped in my arms and even would want to spend time with me. We went to the movies holding hands, and it was not about going to bed and have sex. It was about giving affection. And each of these people, I was not in control with whom. I did not think about that. It happened. It was prior to my marriage, so it happened in a way that was socially acceptable. A celibate person with celibate people, one lady different each day, which was not going to cause heartbreak because I had not been physically intimate with those. Each time, just to make me feel a different way of receiving affection. One is a professional massage therapist who offered a massage. There was a lady that just wanted to cook for me and then stand by me and held my hand. And then there was a movie thing. I mean, it was just boom, 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 boom. And I was not in a state of control. I just allowed it. And it happened. Using the thing that is said to be the lose of energy and everything, well, when you have an orgasm, your energy goes into the physical flesh. So that's divine energy dropped in physicality. Therefore, it's manifestation. Not applicable for everything, but that's how I did it. You know, different from eating a bowl of cereal when it's about eating good food. Do you understand what I mean? Your sacrifice to crank up. You know, I sacrifice about not eating the pepper, then I can manifest the food I want. Your sacrifice and the method to crank up, and then the physical affirmation of the fact has to be in that field of what you want to manifest. Has to correspond to an idea close or far from the actual topic, but you know, it has to hold on to that taste of making an action towards that direction, or in that kind of experience. So those who do sex magic to manifest money doesn't work unless you want to become a whore or a pimp or something, you know? You understand? That sex magic has to do with different levels of how you can attract love. By defeating it, and giving into it, and then using it as a means to manifest. But you know, then people get all screwed up with that sex magic, so don't do it. And those a bit more, you know, gory, who use blood magic, unless it has something to do with the body and the health and the physicality, it just makes people to become sick in their mind. Eh? A manifestation about food was to just take that cereal. A manifestation about money was to go put the $5 into the sacrifice. I didn't even light up a candle, because then it was $5 for the candle. No, it was $5 to give. But Maha, if you give $5, you have the right to the candle? Yeah. So you give $5 to the candle, it's over. It was $5 for the manifestation of the abundance, and it happened. Was that good enough? Was that class on manifestation good enough on how you operate natural forces? Start by defeating them, then use them, and then have them more. Thank you. A good profound breath, please. Takes practice to be able to perceive all these aspects of manifestation and how to create. Breathe. Observe yourself. Anima. 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 To know the subtle world within, without, with no distinction of the within and the without. Anima. Everything is subtle. Everything is, and I perceive it. Anima. Relax. Relax. Anima. 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 One last teaching on manifestation. Celebrate without intoxication to the point of you losing concentration. Celebrate a lot. You'll see what it causes inside you. Celebrate a lot, but not in the sense of abuse. Celebrate a lot in the sense of oftentimes maybe little celebration, and once in a while a big celebration, but celebration nonetheless. Celebrate. Enjoy. Don't celebrate something. Celebrate. And if you raise your glass, you drink to nothing. You don't drink for something. You raise your glass because it's celebration. And you have to mention why you're throwing a party. Well, just be purely honest. We're throwing a party to celebrate. And that's it. We're just throwing a party. Then there are the moments where you need to, justify it's this or that holiday, or it's a beautiful event that happened in your life. It's okay. But you have to just drop back of the reason. Drop back of the justification. Celebrate. Just don't get intoxicated.